D2DNY, Real World HVAC Simplified. And now, in this video, I'll be replacing a compressor. All right, so there's going to be lots and lots of information in this video. All right, but before we get started, before we get into all the tools you're going to need, or the tools that is required to replace a compressor or do a compressor replacement, go ahead, subscribe if you hadn't subscribed, and smash that bell icon. Okay, so I'll wait for you. Okay, so we have our vacuum pump for evacuation. All right, so you're gonna need that. Okay, then you're gonna need your recovery unit, because you got to recover the refrigerant from the system before or prior to replacing the compressor. Okay, so you're gonna need your tools. This is my hand toolbox. Of course, you're gonna need some brazing rods. You're gonna have to do some brazing. You're gonna have to braze or weld the compressor in. Let me open my box. You can see it's my hand tools. All right, if you guys subscribe, then this box is familiar. All right, you know what's going on in here already. All right, so of course you're gonna need your recovery tank, and I'm gonna be showing you how to set that up. All right, so stay tuned with the recovery unit. Okay, got my vacuum hose for evacuation. You know, this hose is fat or larger than the regular gauge hose, so you have a faster recovery time. Evacuation time. All right. So you got your refrigerant scale right here. So let me just open it up real quick, see what's going on. There it is. So you're gonna be seeing me using that. So stay tuned. So like I said, there's gonna be lots and lots of information in this video. And here's my test tools 557. It's not the S, it's the 557s. Oh, actually I have a evac hose in there already. How about that? Okay, so close that. So these are all the things you need if you're going to change your compressor or replace a compressor. Change the compressor out. Of course, you got the refrigerant. System uses R410A. You got your nitrogen, because you're going to need to pressure test your weld. Make sure the system has no leaks. Dry nitrogen. Of course, you got your torch or your B tank with your B tank or torch setup, you want to call that. Oxyacetylene. Okay, so I already have the tip on here, and this tip already has the auto light, self light. It's pretty cool. I love this tip. All right, so yeah, what else? I think that covers it. Let me see here. Of course, I got my extension cord because I'm in the back alleyway here, and you know, need some power, so you're gonna need that. And in here I have the compressor, the contactor, because you're gonna want to change your contactor once you're doing a compressor. That's a must. And this is a single phase compressor, so I have my capacitor, my run cap, and I have a filter dryer here. Also, you gotta change your filter dryer when you do your compressor. What else? This here is the harness for the compressor. These are pretty neat. Plug and play. Okay. And also got a universal crankcase heater. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the equipment needed. This is the unit that I'm working on. It's a Goodman. And so as you can see, I'll just show you. So the compressor is down here, right? So I'm going to be removing the top top cover right here. We're removing that, and then I'm also going to be removing the electrical compartment right there, so I can loosen up the wires to the fan. And yeah, so stay tuned. All right, let's get started. So one thing I'm going to show you guys, which I didn't show you guys initially. Okay, so the compressor is out the box. Here it is. Okay, it did come with the some new mounts. All right, these are the vibration eliminators or mounts, just pure old mounts. Okay, so that's in the box as well. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead now and remove electrical compartment or electrical panel. Like I said, to get in there and disconnect the fan, so I can remove this cover. Stay tuned. So I have the electrical compartment opened. Okay, and this unit is a heat pump, just so you know. All right, so the electrical compartment is open. There is your run capacitor. It's a dual capacitor. I actually don't have a dual cap, it's a single cap. Nonetheless, I'll disconnect the compressor portion and just use the one that I have. Also, so just so you know, this compressor, the problem with it is that the compressor is grounded. That's the problem. So here are the three compressor wires, common, start, and run. So you got the three wires here of the compressor, red, yellow, black. I have my test lead connected to the black one, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you when I go to put my meter down here in the ground. So when I go to the copper pipe right here for ground, as you can see that this compressor is grounded. Okay, this compressor is grounded. What you should read to the copper or ground is overload or OL. As you can see, we're reading 235 ohms. All right, so yeah, let's get into it, guys. Let's remove this cover. Because this video is going to be an extensive video, so if you want to learn something, you can stick around. I can't really do a live feed of when I'm actually welding or actually doing the actual work, because I have to hold the camera and I only have one. I'm gonna need both of my hands. So as I go through the steps, I'm gonna say what I'm about to do the before, do the after, so you see what's going on. So it's going to be about 45 minutes or so, the video, till it's all completed and running, till it's all done. So just stay along with me for the ride. Come along for the ride and you learn something. All right, stay tuned. So before we get into hooking up the recovery, here's a quick tip. So I got 29 inches of vacuum. I pulled a vacuum on the recovery tank. Usually the recovery tank comes in a vacuum already, but I like to just pull a vacuum on it, just in case, or especially if I'm going to reuse the refrigerant. If I'm going to be reusing the refrigerant, I like to pull a vacuum on the tank. So that's what I'm doing right now. The vacuum pump running, hooked up to my gauges right there. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. Then I'm going to hook up the vacuum. I'm going to hook up the recovery unit, recovery tank, to the system and start the recovery process while I'm removing the cover from the condenser. So in the meantime, the system could be recovering while I'm taking the cover apart. All right, so stay tuned. Quick tip: put a vacuum on your tank. If you want to reuse a refrigerant, make sure it's in a deep vacuum before you start the recovery process. Okay, so now I have my recovery unit plugged in and connected. So take note of the connections. You can use either side of the recovery tank. I just like to use the liquid side. And so you also need an additional hose to go from the recovery unit to the recovery tank, as you could see here. So I have another yellow hose just between the recovery unit and the recovery tank. The recovery unit does have a marking in and out. In comes from your gauges, which is attached to your system low and high side. Okay, so low and high side from the system goes into your gauges. From your gauges, the yellow hose or the charge port goes into the in of the recovery tank. Of the recovery unit. Of the recovery unit. And then from the out on the recovery unit goes into the tank, recovery tank. So what I like to do, so I got everything connected nice and tight. My charge port and my gauge is open. High side and low side is open, fully opened. R14A standing pressure. And so what I like to do, I like to just put it to the recovery. And so like purge the lines and purge the unit. So that, you know, blow out any air that's in the unit. Just purge it out real quick so that I know that I have pure refrigerant vapor or liquid coming over to my tank and I have no air contaminating my refrigerant doing my recovery. All right, so now that I'm purged, everything is good. I'm going to put this, leave this on recover. Okay, fully open. All right, and this reflects the same pressure. Pressure's out, pressure's in. And as you can see, it's the same pressures on my gauges. Okay, and so I'm going to open my tank. You see that vacuum? That's sucking in naturally. Okay. Now also, guys, one thing I want to do, one thing you want to do, you want to put your scale, put this can on your scale, and weigh the can while it's empty. That's a trick. Well, I already know that this tank is about 28 pounds, you know, plus or minus 8 ounces. So from experience. But you wouldn't want to put the empty tank or place the empty tank on your scale, so you know what the empty tank weight is. So when you recover the refrigerant, you know exactly how much you took from the system, how much you had recovered. But like I said, I know this tank is about 28 pounds standard, plus or minus 8 ounces, or plus or minus a pound. All right. So yeah, so it's just doing its thing naturally, no pump action yet. All right. All I have to do right now is just press start. And that's it. The recovery process has begun. This is the pressures on the outlet going to the tank, or the tank pressure. And this is the suction from the system side. Okay. So next I'm going to remove the cover from the condenser, and so we can access the compressor. There is the wires. I already found it on the schematic. So this brown wire and this purple wire goes to the condensing fan, and also this black wire right here. So I'm going to unplug all three. All three I'm going to unplug. I'm unplugging all three and then snake them through here so I can remove this whole entire cover. Stay tuned. Just so you guys could see, I have all the screws removed. All the screws all the way around. Okay, so now I'm going to lift this whole thing off. The wires are loosed. My motor wires. Okay. Put this whole thing to the side. Access my compressor. Now, one thing I want to tell you: when you remove the cover, you want to make sure that you don't hit the blades. Be careful so you don't bend these blades. Okay. Just make sure you sit it down secure, nice in a safe place. Be careful of the blades, because you can easily bend these, and then you're gonna have to replace the blades. Once you bend it, you can't unbend it, because it's gonna be out of balance. Just remember that. All right, yeah, this coil could use some cleaning too. This thing looks filthy. All right, so there it is. There it is, guys. Pop this plug off. So there's a hand in there. That's right there. Oh, that was really in there. Okay. So I won't be using this. I'm gonna be using the new one. Okay. This looks fine, but I'm gonna definitely be using the new one. Okay. All right. So next, what I'm gonna be doing, actually, the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait for when I'm gonna loosen those bolts up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna loosen those up, and while it recovers, and then I'm going to once the recovery is completed, you know, I'm gonna unsweat the discharge pipe and the suction pipe, and just remove the compressor, just lift it out. Of course, you're gonna disconnect the crankcase heater down in the bottom there first. The crankcase heater. Perhaps this is good. If it's good, I'll reuse it. I won't replace it. Yeah, so we're not too far along. I mean, we're actually far along. What am I talking about? And so yeah, so we almost finished with our recovery. It's only 34 pounds left. We have to bring this down to 0, or at least -5 or 5 inches of vacuum, and let it hold, so we know we're completely done. Stay tuned. So I've got this extension. This is a 1/4 inch by 12 inches. Goes into my impact driver like so. Goes in my impact driver, and then I got this kit with all my this is SAE. This thing is Makita, and this is the size for the compressor, 1/2 inch. Put this over here like so. One hand. Perfecto. All right, so you're working like a pro now, right? You need to have all the tools with you. Okay, so that's one. The other one. It's 2. 3, and the last one over here, 4. All right, it's pretty cool, guys. It's beautiful when you have the correct tool. Makes your job easier, super easy. Okay, so let's see where we're at with the vacuum, not recovery. So we're down to 16 PSI. We're almost done, guys. Almost done. When I'm done, I'm gonna weigh this tank. It's probably about 5 pounds. Doesn't feel that heavy. Right, this weight right here. And I'm gonna weigh the tank when I'm done, though. See what I got. Probably I'll use back some of that refrigerant. Maybe not. I don't know. I can, because I did evacuate the tank. The tank is clean, and so if I really want to use back that refrigerant, I could. Yeah. That's my tank pressure currently. Now, if the tank pressure gets too high, it will slow the recovery process. All right, so it's in your best interest to keep the tank as cool or the pressures in the tank as low as possible. That's going to make your recovery process much faster. But given that it's just a small amount, you know, it's not a big deal. What I usually do, a trick that I'll do, there's a fan in the recovery unit. As you can see, it's blowing the leaves around. So I put the tank next to it so it cools it down while it recovers. Or I might put this tank in a bucket of water. Or I have a tool, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a coil where you can sit in the bucket of water in between the outlet of the recovery tank and the outlet of the recovery unit outlet and the inlet of the tank. So you need another hose. So this will go to that tool. You sit that tool in the bucket of water. The other side of that tool, you go from there into the tank right here, and that makes your recovery process fast because it's like, you know, make the vapor into liquid, condenses into liquid, so the tank pressure remains lower. You know, I'll show that tool another video, something like that. I don't know. You guys comment in the comment section. Let me know if you want to see it. And that makes your recovery. If you're gonna do a large amount of recovery, refrigerant to recover, you're gonna want to use that tool. All right. So yeah, my compressor is already unbolted. The recovery process is almost completed. I'm gonna get my torch ready. Stay tuned. Now, before I go to the next section in the video, if you have not subscribed, please do so right now, and smash that bell icon. So when I drop videos like these, you get them right away. I know if you all know that if you're a subscriber that I do upload videos on a weekly basis, most likely on a Sunday, right? Every Sunday I drop a video. Now here's another thing that you need to have in your arsenal of tools. Now all these guys, all these tools is in my toolbox. This is my toolbox. This is what I use for service. You know what I'm saying? This is a pro toolbox. All right, so this piece right here, I'm gonna show you what I gotta do right now. Right now I gotta remove the compressor crank case eater. Crank case eater. Go crazy with that. I'm gonna zoom in. Right, so that's that metal bit in the bottom of the compressor, and there's a 5/16 screw right on the bottom there, which I'm going to use this adapter with my 5/16 chuck and the extension on my impact driver to remove that screw. Right, pretty cool. Let me set it up and I'm gonna show you guys. I was thinking I could do it with one hand. I need both hands. But you see what I'm doing, right? Can I zoom in on that? I think I can. So I'm gonna, that's where it's at. I need both hands, unfortunately. So, but you guys get the drift, right? This tool is awesome. You need to have this in your arsenal of tools if you're a pro. There you go. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesomeness right there. Right? Yo, comment awesome in the comment section if you think that's awesome. If you feel it's awesome. Almost done, guys. So this is probably going to be about 6 pounds. Let me see. 6, maybe 7 pounds altogether. We'll see what it is. I'm gonna get my scale when it's done. We're gonna see how much pounds we took out. Okay, so we're just about finished with the recovery. 3 psi, and we're at 36 pounds. Now, this tank says about 28 pounds, right? So if you subtract 28 from 36, so that's 2, that's 30. So that's 8 pounds, 3 ounces so far. I don't think we're gonna get another pound out of this. If anything, we're gonna get maybe 4 or 5 more ounces. All right, I think we're pretty much done. And my testo is just turned off, auto power off. All right, so it's going. Once this thing is done, it beeps, gives you a beep. Once it gets to, I think, 5 psi or minus 5 inches of vacuum, it gives you a beep that lets you know that the recovery process has been completed. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna get my torch set up because that's the next step, unsweating the compressor. So I think we're done now. That's minus 8.5 inches. However, the machine reads 0 psi. I'm gonna turn it off right now. I think that's good. We're good to go. I have my torch here ready. This right here, service wrenched. So my B tank is opened. And we're ready to go. So yeah, that's see, the pump shuts off automatically. 10 inches of vacuum. So we got, yeah, it says 28 and 2, that's 30, there's 2, there's 8 pounds, 6 ounces, 6.2 ounces. That's it. Close this off. I'm gonna remove this tank from my scale. I don't want to wear my scale out for no reason. Turn it off. Turn this off. Shut up. Shut up. Will you? And these are already closed. And yeah, it's pretty much holding in a vacuum. So I think I'm confident that I'm alright. Okay. Don't want any accidents here. All right. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm gonna get my channel locks because that's what I'm gonna use to hold the pipe and pull out. So these are fine. Yeah, these are fine. I can use these. Okay. So once the joint is hot, I'll just hold my channel lock right here and just pull it out. All right, so stay tuned. I'm gonna uninstall this compressor and I'll get back to you guys. Whew. Still hot. I end up going for a larger channel lock, by the way, and I had to because of the accumulator. You know, this pipe didn't have much flexibility, the suction pipe, so I like rock the compressor to get it out. But yeah, there it is. It's gonna lift this old one out and drop in the new one. Stay tuned. Clear. So the key thing here, this is a replacement compressor, so the numbers didn't quite match up, the model numbers. All right, the 39K5E over there. This is 38, but they're the same compressor. I've already verified with the supply house. They said yes, they assured me this is good to go. The key thing here is though is your voltage. 230 volts and 230 volts. Okay, 230 volts. Now this thing is still, refrigerant is still boiling off. All right, so I'm gonna put in the new mounts. See, these are the old mounts. I'm gonna leave those there. Put the new ones in here. Pop these plugs out and drop it in. Stay tuned. Now, these parts, these pieces you don't need because it's already on the screws. As you can see, there's no metal pieces in the old compressor. All right, so these I'm gonna leave out. I'm just gonna omit these and just get these stuck into the 4 holes, and that's it. Drop it in. So like I said, I'm gonna be using this new connector right here, brand new, and it's labeled right here. You see, it tells you gray is the run, black is the C, and I guess gray again, 2 gray, 2 shades of gray. One is lighter and one is yellow. I don't know. I'm gonna remove the plastic and let you guys see it. Common start and run. So I'm gonna drop this thing in right now. Okay, so perfect fit. So one thing I want to tell you guys, if you're gonna do this, so you put the compressor in place, just be careful not to hit the pipes on your way down, because once you bend this pipe out of orientation, it's going to be a struggle to put it in. And then what you're going to want to do is put in the suction pipe, or the larger pipe first, right? So you can, move the compressor about, wriggle it, jiggle it, shake it, and work the pipe back in, like you see here. Also, it's sad right here because the dryer that I brought, it's the wrong dryer. I'm so mad right now, but I got no choice. This is a heat pump system and I have the wrong filter dryer, so I'm gonna put a good vacuum on it. That's the best I could do right now because the client wanted this thing running tonight or today, and right now, as you can see, supply houses are closed. Okay, so I'm pretty much it's gonna have to pull a crazy good vacuum, a deep, really deep vacuum, and I'm gonna put the refrigerant from the discharge. It doesn't really matter because I'm gonna be in the liquid line anyways. Hopefully I ain't gotta come back here just to replace the dryer because it's restricted. I'll be so mad. Yeah, because there was another guy who wrote this up, but he never, he didn't never mention that it was a heat pump. So I went ahead and purchased a regular dryer. For the heat pump, you need to have a biflow dryer. Biflow. It flows both directions, goes both way. All right. Yeah, so basically you're going to want to make sure you put this pipe in first. You don't want to hit this pipe on your way down because you're going to have problems landing it back up into the hole. And then don't put your screws back in until put the pipes in first, and then you put your bolts back. All right, that will go right in. So I can literally look down and see the holes, or you can use like a Phillips screwdriver, stick it down there and just wriggle it and get the hole aligned. But I could see the holes like from right here. So I'm just gonna just put these back in, braze everything, pressurize the nitrogen. And one of the benefits of recovering and weighing it while you recover, so your system has no leak. So I pull out 8 pounds, right? That was 8 pounds. Yeah, I think it was 8 pounds. Where's the tag in this thing? Down here. So this came from the factory. It has, so this says 219 ounces. That's 219 divided by 60. I'm not good at math. That good at math. Let me grab my my phone here real quick. Where's my calculator? Calculator. So 219. So 219. Okay, 16 ounces to a pound. So 219. And I'm gonna divide that by 16. Oh wait a minute, what am I doing here? Cancel. So 219. This is already low on refrigerant. Perhaps that's the reason why the compressor burnt out. Divided by 1.6, and that is equal to 13 pounds. So we are short. Right? This probably burned out because of high superheat. The compressor was just running hot. You know, high superheat. Because we are 8 pounds. We are 5 pounds short. Okay, 5 pounds short. I don't know if they let it out because it's a short run. I'll see what it is once I'm done. These lines needs to be reinsulated too, clearly. But man. Anyways, I'll be checking my superheat when I'm done, so you guys will see. Okay, so let me do the brazing. Braze this thing back in, bolt it back down, pressure test it, get my vacuum going. Stay tuned. Okay, you can see compressors is already welded in, and I got my inspection mirror right here. Now some pros are gonna say that they don't check their welds, but I check my welds. Got my mirror. I'll go around the pipe and just check onto the bottom of it. Make sure, because I can't really see what I'm just welding onto the bottom blind. You know what I'm saying? But that looks solid to me. That looks solid to me. Alright, so I always check my weld and my welds. So that looks good. That looks good. I can't see under the bottom of the pipe. I can't see at all when I'm welding it. So yeah, that looks good all the way around. And I'm gonna use nitrogen and oh, big blue. I need some big blue. I don't have that. I gotta go get that. Alright, so stay tuned. So now I got my nitrogen hooked up, and my regulator is broken. I know. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. It works fine, even though it's broken. Anyways, so I got this open. My gauge is closed right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that one open. As a matter of fact, open these two, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just close this one here, because I don't want to like let too much pressure in at the same time at once on my sensors. So I'm gonna throttle it in. I'm just gonna open my tank. Tank is opened, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a leak test mode as well. All right, I'm gonna do a leak test. So I'm gonna still get the leak detection or the big blue and spray those joints, but I think they look solid to me. They look good. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just open up. These are open. Oh, I'm gonna zoom out. Go ahead and open up my charge port. Let it rip. As a matter of fact, you know what I want to do? So I want to test my metering device. So I'm going to go from the I side. I'm going to close the low side. Close that out. And I'm going to go around, go from the I side in. All right, so that's open. I'm going to open my charge port once again. I'm going to go from the I side. Let it come around, right? So we know we have no restrictions. So 440 psi, I got to turn this thing down a little bit. Or not. It's R410A. So it's coming around nice. Okay. I want to see this come around. So if I close this thing off, let's see where we're at. Yeah, so 67, 59. So it's equalizing very nice. Very good. So this tells me I'm flowing good through my metering device. Here we go again. Yeah, baby. All right. I don't hear any hissing over here. Get spray some water in this thing. It's just water right here. Yeah, so if you have not subscribed, do so right now and smash the bell icon. This is a big blue bottle, and so I'm going to have to get this is water. I want to get one so I can spray on the joints. I don't think I need to anyways. All right, so look, we're at 140. Let's close this off real quick. Yeah, equal pressures. It's flowing beautifully through my metering device. No restrictions whatsoever. I'm confident. However, oh man, that dryer, bro. Shaking my head right now. I'm mad about that. But fingers crossed, it's all right. Pull a good vacuum. It has no restriction, and we're good to go. So let's build it up some more. Build it up some more. Maybe at least 300 psi because this is our 410A. And then I'm gonna put my gauges in the leak test mode. So stay tuned. Okay, so I got 350. I'm gonna leave it like that. That's gonna be my test pressures. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my gauges in the leak test mode. That's it right there. Leak test mode. And I'm gonna press start or play. Here we go. So within 10 minutes, I'll know if we got a leak or not. Close off my charge port. And I like to leave these two opens. No, most of you guys are gonna say, nah, what if the ports are leaking? Listen, these gauges, I trust my gauges. Trust my tools. Okay. So far so good. Nothing dropped, no delta P. If there's a leak, so we lost -1, minus 0.01, 0.1 psi. That's nothing. All right, so let's just come back in 10 minutes. All right, or 5 minutes. Stay tuned. So yeah, I did start the test back over again, just so you know. But I'm gonna go ahead and replace that compressor contactor in the meantime. All right, so here's the contactor right there. I'm gonna go ahead and swap that out, and I'm gonna install the capacitor as well. I mean, this one is gonna stay there. I mean, this capacitor is fine. I might just leave it. You know, I'm gonna test it. If the capacitance is exactly what it's supposed to be, and it's matching the one that's recommended for this compressor, the new compressor, I'm probably going to leave that one because it's a dual cap and it fits perfect, as opposed to putting a second capacitor in there. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna replace the contactor, and here's the contactor. Here we go. This is a 40 amps. Okay. All right, stay tuned. All right, so the next clip, it's going to be pretty much while I have the vacuum going. I'm going to install the contactor, button everything up. I mean, literally, if you're doing this yourself, you just got to reverse the process. I mean, you don't need to see me put it back together. So the next clip is going to be the vacuum pump running. I'm going to install this, get everything back together, put the vacuum pump on. So stay tuned for that. All right, so I got my big blue. I've tested my joints, my weld, my braze, all good. Got big blue in my hand. Okay. So here's the connector. So the light gray is the run, the black is the C, and the dark gray is the start. So run, common, start. And what I've decided, guys, is that I'm gonna go ahead and install a turbo cap. I have a turbo cap. I'm gonna install it instead of installing this. So I'm gonna remove the one that's in the unit and install a turbo cap. It's gonna have ratings for the fan, and it's gonna have ratings for this right here. This is 4.0 Oh, 45. I was gonna say what? 45 megs. Yeah, so I'm gonna use a turbo cap. So I can replace that cap. Just use one cap with that has both the fan and the capacitor on it. I mean, and the condenser. It has both the compressor and the condenser fan on there. All right. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So stay tuned. Okay. So here's a turbo capacitor. Turbo cap. All the jumpers comes in the box as well. And so I'm gonna link. So I need 45. So I'm gonna link 25 and 20. That's gonna be 45 for my compressor. And I don't know what the condenser fan is, but it's probably either gonna be 10 or 5. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna be installing this. This will get the job done. Turbo cap to the rescue. All right, so I'm gonna do this through the contactor. Get the vacuum going. It's getting rather dark out here, as you can see. The sun is still out, but it's not back. It's not out back here. So I gotta hurry up. I gotta haul ass. I gotta hurry up. I gotta move. All right, stay tuned. So here we go now. Got my meter on capacitance. So I got a jumper on it, and on 20 and 25. I'm testing it right now. And we got 40, come on, 47. What am I doing wrong here? 46.8, all right? So we're good to go. So that's for the compressor. I'm gonna find out what's for the condenser fan, what size it's using. I said more than likely it's gonna be 5. So I'm gonna drop that wire right here, okay? So there we go, all right? That's it. So, and as far as the leak check goes, you see right here we got 26 minutes, 3.3. I'm gonna give that a pass because you know we had some residual refrigerant and all on the system. So definitely with the temperature pressure relation, sun is going down. It's getting cooler out here. It's getting cooler or colder. Yeah, that's just I'm okay with that. I'm gonna go ahead and just release that nitrogen and pull a vacuum, and then I'm gonna pull the microns as well. Perhaps you guys won't see the finished products because I mean, as I say, it's getting dark. I gotta put a move on it, so I can't like recording while I'm doing it. It's slowing me down. So if I can, I'm going to show you guys the finished product while it's running. But I got a little bit to do. And it's getting dark out here, right? So I want to finish with daylight. So again, if I can, I'll have the finished product while it's running, so you guys could see it. If not, this is going to be the end of the video. I mean, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you hadn't subscribe. I do upload videos on a weekly basis. Pretty much, like the rest of this right here is just reversing the process, so you don't need to see that. And the rest is just pulling a vacuum, charging it up, doing this capacitor and the contactor. That stuff you can find lots of, I have videos on my channel doing that, so you can just go check those out if you want to know how to charge a unit up and stuff. All right, so stay tuned. So YouTube, do you see that? So just want to point out that I did find a leak. Okay, so that cap right there, definitely there's a leak on that cap. So I'm going to take it out, remove the cap, and tighten the valve below the cap all the way, and put some leak lock underneath this cap. All right, so that's where I lost my my 3.5 psi. Wow, awesome. Still have some daylight left. I'm gonna keep filming so long as there's daylight. So if the video got cut short and you don't get to see the finished product, that's because I lost daylight. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so I have the vacuum gauge hooked up. Now as you can see, hold on, let me get positioned. There's my vacuum setup. So I have the shredder tool remover, and and I have my vacuum sensor hooked up in that. So it's a vacuum tool slash Schroeder tool or Schroeder core valve remover. So the core has been taken out of here. I removed the core, and so have the hose hooked up on this part of it, and then my vacuum sensor on that part of it. It's like a T, okay? Because there's no additional port on the system. All right, so I'm going to go into vacuum mode, and then once I'm in vacuum mode, I'm just going to start my vacuum pump because I got my hose connected already, and that's that. So I'm gonna go put my vacuum pump on. Wait a minute, I got no power. So now I have power. It's alive. And you gotta make sure your vacuum pump is level as always when you're evacuating. It looks pretty level. And I'm sitting it on my crankcase heaters, which I'm going to be installing. All right, so let's just see. The race is on, guys. The race is on to pull 500 microns. Am I open here? No, I wasn't open there. Am I closed there? No, I wasn't closed there. All right, here we go. Vacuum port open. Vacuum port open. Charge port closed. Low side open. High side open. Okay. Got my vacuum sensor plugged in up top. Here we go. I did put some leak sealant, some leak lock under that cap and reinstall it. You know, that's the best I could do right now. Okay. So I'm gonna talk to the client about that. Probably gonna have to replace that valve or eliminate it. Whatever. I'm gonna let the client know. Yeah, so let's see if I could finish before get 500 microns, charge it up while the sun is still out. Stay tuned. 45.5. See that? So the turbo cap is in place. Going down in place. All right, still have to do the contactor. Still have to do the contactor, guys. But it's coming along. It's coming along. The race is against daylight. I gotta finish. Stay tuned. Okay, YouTube. So the new crankcase heater is in. You can see wrapped around the bottom of the compressor down there. Okay. Got the wire, the plug arm is on, and the vacuum is coming on pretty nice. Still have to do the contactor. We had 4,000 microns. Got ways to go, but it's dropping though. It's coming down. All right, so it was at 10,000, so it's dropping. All right, so yeah, still trying to beat daylight. Still trying to beat daylight. If you think I'm going to make it, I think I'm going to make it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead now and do the contactor, put the cover on, start packing up all my tools. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, stay tuned. Man, yeah, it was 53 minutes. Wow. All right, let's go. Let's get this. Okay, YouTube. Daylight is pretty much gone. There is the contactor installed, the capacitor. Everything all nice and neat. I had to use some electrical tape because I was out of zip ties, but electrical tape works. So we got compressor in, covers back on. I'm still evacuating, but I'm gonna go ahead and close this video off. Again, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. It's 54 minutes. All right, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I do upload videos on a weekly basis. So pretty much that's the finished product. Just gonna put the electrical section, electrical controls panel cover back on. So yeah, I mean pretty much I've lost daylight, but I would say I've made good progress. This whole job took me about 3 hours. Yeah, A little bit longer because I'm doing the video for you guys, so I'm recording, so I'm, you know, I'm slowing down with the steps. But yeah, it's gonna turn the vacuum pump off, and I'm just weighing the charge. All right.